welcome to Skottie Talk, episode 26, where we know how to treat our guest. Special guest Mike Becker, who is telling us a story, and I cut him off mid-sentence by just doing this. So I apologize for that.
You gave the time in window, yeah, and that was it. It was done. So
yeah, we got to roll. We got to save it for the show. Save it for the show. You got good stuff to tell about Becker.
I really don't. I feel like, spoiler alert, this is going to be not a heavy Skottie episode because I did not get to buy anything from his booth at Planet. I guess I won't bury the lead there.
All right. Well, I guess that's our episode. We'll see you guys.
See you guys next week. No giveaway tonight.
No. No. Reason, and to let everybody know that's on here that's just tuning in. Hey, Ryan, he was also at the show, but just to let everybody know, Mike Becker is a local to KC, so he kind of knows all the ins and outs. And one of the reasons I really wanted to have him on here so he could tell us all the fun stuff about Planet that we may not know just by seeing pictures of it. So looks like you had quite a good time with all your friends there in those pictures.
Yeah, for me, It's about the hangouts. It really is. We have a friend that comes in from Virginia. As you know, like I'm a big part of the YouTube comic book community. Well, I'm not a big part, but I really enjoy being a part of that. I don't do my own channel, but I'm friends with lots of people who do. Like, I know you guys have worked with, especially you, Dustin, with Comics Curing Cancer. Mm-hmm. I've been lucky enough to donate to that every year of its existence, even the first year before Rob, DJ, and Mark got involved. And that's actually how I met a lot of people in the comic book community and YouTube. But yeah, man. And Skottie's been very generous with that. Also, Stupid Fresh Mess has donated money and auction items for C3. So shout out to C3.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. And even when we did our auction on the Skottie Young Appreciation Group last year, right after Heroes, Stupid Fresh Mess was kind enough to match our total and send it to him.
Yeah,
that was
amazing.
Really a blessing. So, but we got Dre has popped in with a yo. Oh, Ryan, happy, I think 41st birthday. I think Ryan's celebrating his 41st birthday. So hopefully it's either 40th or 41st. So I apologize for not being right on that one. But without further ado, how was Planet? Oh, Becker, you get to see my scared kitten look. I always forget what's on the next slide. So it came early tonight. All right,
I'm just sad that I don't have any bar graphs or pie charts.
No chart time with Dustin. Yeah, we too much to cover tonight. Too much to cover.
Yeah.
Let me pull this up real quick. The giveaway for tonight will be a Strange Academy 9.8. This was contributed by Tyler. Awesome book, graded.
And that is a CBCS, just to point out, not a CGC, but a CBCS. Some people that matters to them. To me, it doesn't necessarily. So,
if that matters to you on a free giveaway,
exactly,
you got issues.
You've got problems. If you pass, then it wasn't meant for you, anyways.
Yeah.
So good luck to everybody. We'll make sure and keep on reminding people. It's going to be you answer a question at the end of the show, and you win the book. So first one to answer. But we won't say what the question is until the end of the show. And Becker, before we get into the show, I'm going to tell you something that I'm very proud of. We figured out how to put the guest off the bottom towel. Me and Tyler had so many guests down here where I'm at, and every time a thing would pop up, it would cover their face. And I'm embarrassed to say it was pretty simple to move it, but Tyler's the one that figured it out whenever I asked him about it.
Yeah, but it's not easy. Like, if nobody shows you how to use these features, I kind of had to learn by trial by fire, with 4C. When I had to take over one of the shows, I can't remember exactly which one, but I didn't know what I was doing, because when I do YouTube with my buddy Alan, he runs all that stuff, and I just say move things here, and I just direct traffic.
It makes a difference whenever you're not having to kind of do the technical side of it. And as I told Tyler before the show started, before you joined us, I'm not a very technical, savvy person. Everybody that's watched us for 25 episodes knows that, but we figured it out. So whenever we
sniffed that out, Dustin, you're like me. I don't.
We got the guest sandwich now, as I like to call it. So
Yep. You're the first one. You're our fifth guest, but you're the first sandwich that we've had. So welcome to the show.
Guest. I got in early.
Yeah.
Hey, me and Tyler there's Skeff and Megan and Skottie.
Oh yeah, these were the pictures that Stupid Fresh Mess posted of their booth early on Friday, and like you said, there's Skottie, Megan, and Skeff. Skeff was helping out at the Stupid Fresh Mess booth, and from what I heard, he did an outstanding job there, helping them out with the.
I would say he did. They were pretty busy. I actually stood behind Skeff at Adam Hughes's sketch line, maybe Saturday? Yeah. No, Friday. Friday night? Yeah, Friday night. I have to remember where I went afterwards to remember which night it was.
How was Adam Hughes's line there at the show?
Not bad when I went. I got there a few minutes before sketching started, and I was maybe third or fourth. I was right behind Skeff.
Oh,
there was only like maybe 3 sketches done before me, and he works very fast, so.
He really does. Yes.
I was a little worried at first that I might, because I had dinner reservations I didn't want to miss. And I was like, if this is going to take an hour, because I thought the line was longer, but I didn't realize like half of it was finishing up the signatures.
Oh, cool. It was similar to whenever he was at Heroes, and I got a few of them done. I mean, it was the sketching line. There was never more than really 12 deep in it. And I was kind of surprised by that because his sketches especially his quick sketches are so affordable as opposed to, some other artists of his caliber. So, yeah, that was pretty impressive how fast he is with them too.
Yeah. I mean, the price was right for me. I can't dictate it for everybody, but that was one of a few things I picked up this weekend. Actually, I probably have it. Yeah, I've got it right there.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's a great one too.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Are we allowed to show non-Skottie art?
No.
I don't know what the rules are here, Dustin. You let me know if I
get banned for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Now we want to see them all here. All your different comics and sketches. So yeah, we'll give you the
full some comics too. Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see everything that you picked. I kind of zoomed in and out of the. We'll get to that one in a second. Of the 4C show last night. And I heard Ken, a little shocked that he hadn't been invited to be on Skottie Talk yet. And I told Tyler, I said, if I didn't know he wanted to come on and talk Skottie, he's more than welcome anytime. So
don't let that guy on. Save that for like episode 50 or something, or not 50. That's a milestone. How about 51?
51 will work. But yeah, I had to even message him this morning, like, Ken, anytime you want to come on, you're fine. But we're talking Skottie. So he's like, even last night he was like, oh yeah, I don't want to be on. I don't. He's more all comments.
I don't know if he's got a lot of Skottie books or. Most of my Skottie stuff is books. Although I have a New Warriors interior. I have a couple of early I Hate Fairyland interiors.
Oh,
and
cool.
then what else do I have? I have a robot sketch I got from him at Heroes Con 2023. And that's about it. Man, I have a speedball sketch in 2016. I want to say I think I have it figured out to what year it was. I want to say 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. He did a free comic book day at Daydreams in Iowa City, and I drove over from the town I was living in at the time, my hometown in Iowa, and I went to that and he just started sketching it. Not a lot of people. Not a ton of people after like the initial rush of free comic book day madness. He was doing free sketches. And so I grabbed a comic book backing board and got a speedball because me, Dustin, that's how I roll.
Well, I thought about this last night while I was getting my box together. I thought about this last night while I was laying in bed, and I thought I got to message Becker when I get up this morning and see if he's got any Skottie sketches that he wants to show during the show.
I didn't pull any out. So a lot of my stuff is like in closets for that because I'm still trying to figure out what to do with my walls.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
I didn't
I
think
should have
about
asked
that
you prior
early
to the
enough.
show, so I apologize for not doing that sooner. But yeah, I thought of
Yeah.
it.
Let me think where some stuff would be.
Well, I'll tell you as we go through the slides here. If you want to step away for a minute and find them,
Yeah.
after we get through your
that could
slides,
work.
and then we'll bring it back on that way. Real quick, you didn't happen to get to the panel that Skottie and Sean Crystal and Jim did you?
I think this is a fake panel.
Is it a fake panel? No.
Well, when was this?
Like
when was this supposedly at 9:45 p.m.? And a marquee puppet.
Yeah, the dance moves immediately gave it away for me. There's no way Skottie's out there dancing for people.
I mean, maybe Jim looks like Jim looks spry.
Maybe for an auction. Jim might. I think Skottie would just sit in the corner and be like, "Nah, I'm good."
This is embarrassing. I was so excited. I was like, I can't wait to see the footage from this. This has got to be up on YouTube somewhere. And yeah, I got taken. I had no idea this wasn't a real panel. So man,
the time, the room number, there's a few things that would have tipped this off, but yeah, mainly just the time of 9:45. And I think it was wasn't this posted on Sunday?
I think this was actually posted Saturday morning.
Was it? I saw it Sunday, and I was like, "Yeah, that's not true."
Oh man, I was excited. All right, man, you busted my bubble. This one.
Dashing dreams, yeah.
Yeah. My
Rap attack panel. I mean, maybe it happened. If it happened, I think they were the only 3 people there.
Is there a room 2323? Is that even? Is there anything?
I mean, it would be close. I think we were. So my LCS, who I was helping out the weekend, they were in like room 2301, and that was where all the war stuff was.
Oh man, well that was. I am gutted now.
Yeah,
gutted. Did you really think this was real?
No, I knew.
Okay.
Can you see the
the hope was real. The hope was real, that's for sure.
I maintain they probably did it with each other, like they had their own dance.
Yeah, they went back to their hotel room. I mean, they look like they're about to drop a sick mixtape. So
it does. I mean, the Daffy Duck is the best part of it too. I love that popping up there. But no, I was like, yeah, I could see it. I mean, after Skottie got through drawing it. After Skottie got through drawing it or painting at Heroes, like he was like rapping music and kind of that's me. That's my rapping style there. But he was like getting down to it. So I thought I could see him do that. Bring out like cardboard boxes to be spinning up there. Maybe not that, but at least dropping some beats or beatboxing, which I won't try to do. But all right, that's enough of that. I feel like an idiot now. But hey, pictures from special guest Mike Becker. Here,
and he had a Daffy Duck. I got Donald Duck on.
There we go. The two big ducks. You got the OG one there too. The original design.
Oh, nice. And speaking of shirts, Becker, I really wanted to point out, and I meant to pull out the shirt that you were wearing, the button-up shirt with the cards on it. That was awesome. Yeah. That one there, the one that we're about to see.
That's the Doom one.
Mm.
Yeah, so, I get the shirts from Roosevelt's.
I got good shirts, yeah.
Yeah, I so can't left see. To right. The other one I'm looking at then that I was talking about.
This is my buddy Steve. He lives a couple hours away in Kansas, but he always comes in for the cons and stuff of Kansas City, and sometimes he'll make it to store signings and stuff like that. But he always hangs out with our group. My group of friends, we've been dubbed or call ourselves. I don't know which happened first, but in YouTube we're known as the KC crew, and we go out and do stuff all the time. Like we'll go out for coffee there's a place here in Kansas City called the Comic Book Coffee Shop, Coffee House. And they got comics all over the walls. The owner is always down to talk to you about comics, movies, whatever. He's a big comic book fan himself. And yeah, well, all the coffee beverages are named after different characters.
Cool.
Sadly, nice. I get a lot of heat because I get the lowest lane, but it's delicious. It has vanilla. I'm not a big strong coffee guy. Like I like my stuff to be sweet.
Yep, to taste more like sweet than coffee. I'm right there with you.
I don't want to taste dirt. I want to taste something delicious. So
Amen.
And far right is Jeff Edwards. That's a buddy of ours, local-ish. He lives in Columbia now, but he's from here originally. And the first YouTube show I ever hosted, he was my first guest. We were supposed to go for 45 minutes in an interview, and it went for 4 hours.
Oh, wow!
We really we overshot it a little bit.
Yeah, it can happen.
We talked for.
We don't know anything about that. Yeah.
No, absolutely. You bring up Disney and Lego, and that's where we get really excited and go on.
That's just losing people. So
that's right.
I can't support Lego. Hot take here. Here's the thing. I'm not going to build my own toys. I'm not your maid. If I pay you for a product, it better arrive assembly.
I don't think I've ever heard that take before. I love it.
I have not either, but that's we're having 4 kids, especially when they were smaller in the house, and having sideshow statues next to Lego figures. I can't tell you how many sideshow statues have been destroyed or pieces chipped off by the kids. Lego, if a piece chips off, you just put them back together there. So
not the same as sideshow.
Yeah, if they arrived pre-made, maybe
it'd be different.
But
you could pay extra.
I feel betrayed by both Lego and the Wii. Like a video game that wanted me to move around. Like no, that was not the contract we had.
That's okay. I can get behind that one as well. How long have you been? Did you grow up in Kansas City or?
I did not. I grew
where
up
are you
in
from?
Northeast Iowa is where I'm from. Originally born in the Quad Cities and lived most of my life in a town called Dubuque, Iowa. And funny enough, I'll tell a Skottie story. I ran into him, and I think I told you about this, Dustin. I ran into him the day of the Chiefs AFC game this year. Championship game where they played the Bills and won, only to go and get terribly embarrassed in the Super Bowl. But
that was rough.
But that morning, I picked my buddy up who was in town from Canada, fellow YouTuber Chris the Comic Vet. He's from Toronto, big Bills fan. He ended up coming here. I supplied some tickets, and we went to the game together, but he was staying over in a part of Kansas City. I don't want to like name places. I was kind of thinking about that. I don't want people to like, I'm sure if you follow Skottie on social media, you know know the spots and stuff. Like I think he's pretty open about it on social media, but I don't want to be the reason for it. So
that's fair.
There's a place he's been known to hang out, but I also appreciate it. They have good food. I like to eat there. And his hotel was near it. I used to work over there, so I know that area. And I was like, well, yeah, we'll go over to this spot. And various members of the Kansas City YouTubers all came to meet we kind of hung out for a few hours before the game. Since we didn't have a tailgate to go to, we just ate there and had it. Those guys had a few drinks. I was driving. But anyway, ran into Skottie there. And when I was talking to him about it, I had actually mentioned that I didn't move to KC till 2019. And I found out from him, he moved in like 2018. So he beat me here.
I think the Jason, Aaron, and Megan and that crew kind of talked Skottie into moving here whenever that came about. So,
well, I don't know why they didn't talk me into it.
That's there, but see, that's really cool. That I guess there's such a big. You're talking about the Kansas City YouTubers. I mean, there's like a good little module of people there that not only are cool people, but they're also people that love to get on YouTube and talk about comics and hang out with.
Yeah, and we'll see in the photos. We've got Burke Family 54 Comics right here with me in those two photos. Here we've got me, my buddy Swagda on YouTube, also known as Keon, and CB Sabalski. And then you added the photo of Skottie and CB Sabalski. Yeah, ran into him on the con floor. I actually saw him there last year too. But we got our picture with him, talked to him briefly, just always food with him, you know. I was a big fan of his Tumblr back in the day where he would show all the places he was eating at. And I think he said that's all on Instagram now.
Yeah, on Instagram, I pulled up his account, and this was one of the pictures that was on there, but it was all food. It was like all the different places he eats.
Yeah, he's a big foodie.
I didn't realize that until yesterday.
Yeah, he had a Tumblr years ago called Otaku or something like that, but very much a celebration of food. Whatever city he was in for comic books, he would have the food. But I was going to say, to finish up real quick, my story about the game day is, while Skottie and I were talking, we both did that Midwestern thing where, because we're both not from Kansas City, and Kansas City at that time was just recovering from like 10 inches of snow that took out like the entire city for a week. And we were dogging on them because, you know, Midwestern guys, like, I don't know, Kansas City's a little soft. They don't get a lot of snow. And when they do, they like freak out and call off work and stuff and shut the schools down for like a week. And yeah, we were both throwing major shade at the city of Kansas City. Step it up, guys. Get a shovel. Take care of that.
Me and Tyler talked a little bit about snow and weather, and he's down in Orlando now. But Tyler, what northern state were you originally?
It was Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was there for 4 years. So yeah,
you've had real snow.
We know snow up there. Yeah. So, but it was the same. I grew up in North Carolina, and like you said, we get one snowflake and everything was shut down. Then we go to Minnesota, and we're like trying to push cars out of the parking lot of work to try and get people out because we won't shut down. So yeah, it's quite a difference there.
Yeah, it is that. And I've noticed it with like people I work with that are from like further north in the Midwest and have that. There is like an air of superiority that like people like us, when the snow hits, like, oh, you thought that was bad? Like,
it's like, have you seen like a 10-foot or not even 10-foot, like a 15-foot pile of snow that's been shoveled? It's like, yeah, that's a lot of snow. This isn't too bad. So
it is very much like people who live in those states do kind of like to flex a little bit, like that they are the only ones who truly know.
Yeah, and even living there, like when we moved there, like we even still got the like, oh, this isn't bad. Like you should have seen it, 10 years ago or something. And I'm like, okay, well, this is bad for me. So
it's a thing. It's a thing.
Thankfully, Kentucky doesn't get a whole lot of snow, and the last time we got like 10 inches. I thought I was like a frontierman, and I tried to hike down to our nearest gas station in dress shoes. And by the time my dress shoes, I got home and I thought, oh, these are frozen, and my toes curled up on them. And I wore them to work one day, and I got called a Keebler elf the whole day. And as I got home from work, I pulled my shoes off, tossed them in the trash can by my car, and walked in the house and had to go buy another pair of dress shoes because
that was it. They were done.
We never get snow deep enough to even mess up shoes or freeze or anything like that. So I should have wore something different. But I didn't want to mess up my tennis shoes, so I'd rather mess up my dress shoes. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You got to meet Ross. I thought that was cool. And
So Keon, who's in the photo with me with Ross, I was kind of feeling him out, trying to figure out like what would be his ideal, like who would he want to meet for a celebrity, just because this was his first con. We met Keon last year at Free Comic Book Day, which I'll keep trying to work Skottie into this. Everywhere I went, so everywhere we went that day, I was out with Circumstances, Marcus. We were out together for Free Comic Book Day. We had this whole map like laid out of Kansas City. We just made it ourselves, and we hit all these spots for Free Comic Book Day. If we left your shop 30 minutes later, Skottie and Megan would show up. Like everywhere we went, we would hear then, oh, Skottie Young showed up afterwards with some signed stuff. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't either.
The Skottie touch. That is a very, a good superpower to have right there.
Yeah, so basically we missed him that day, but Keon got to meet him. and was at Pop Culture Comics when Skottie and Megan showed up. But other than that, he'd been to like some garage cons, which are an event we have here in Kansas City. It's like a dealer con, a local comic book dealer by the name of Denny Cox, who runs Cox Comics. He'll set up in the summer. He'll do like dealer cons in his driveway, and he's got all of his stuff in his garage and some big books. I mean, like GSX #1s. They had an AF-15 for a while. Yeah, not bad for a garage con.
Yeah, that's not bad for anywhere. That's great.
Yeah, lot usually like 10 dealers, maybe 8 to 10. But then Denny, he's such a nice guy. He'll also then throw like a free cookout, and there'll be coolers with free drinks. Like, he doesn't ask for anything. He just asks that you come and support the dealers and stuff. And like the last time we went to that in the summertime, like he had free drinks and brats, and it was good. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I'm sorry. We have a really cool comic book scene here in Kansas City. I have to say, I love it.
Sounds like it, yeah.
Yeah, I want to get out to Kansas City. My wife is trying to hit every single state on our map for our vacations, and just judging, I would love to hit, especially during Planet Comicon, just because it sounds like it's a really cool place to go, not just for the Planet Comicon, but for the whole scene that's going on out there.
Food, comics, yeah, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I was gonna say, man, even if you don't come out for Planet, there's some cool shops to hit, but we have like local wrestling events. We've got cool places to hang out, great places to eat. Like, I don't know, even when it's not Planet Comicon, our group loves going out and like just hitting the shops, and we'll usually work in a lunch kind of centered in the middle of it. Drive around town. There's also an event called the Comic Crawl, Kansas City Comic Collectors sponsor, and all the shops will. Have you ever done like a poker run or anything like that, or like a bar crawl where there's prizes?
Bar crawl, yeah.
So it's like a bar crawl, but instead each shop has like they'll usually have a sale going, but then also there's giveaways. Like you get one raffle ticket for showing up at the shop, and then you get another raffle ticket if you buy something. And swag, we took Keon to that this past year, and he won like 2 of the grand prizes at different shops.
That's awesome.
He cleaned up.
That's great. Well, who's on the left side over there with you in the picture on the left? We didn't get to
that's our buddy Mike V. And he's from Southern Kansas, and he comes up for mainly Planet, and then there's also a con called Fountain City Con, and he's done that.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
And this is the shirt I was talking about, Tyler. I don't know if you saw the pictures before the show there, but this is I love this shirt here. I can't see because I don't have my glasses on, but whenever I was loading the pictures, I had to zoom in and see it. So this is the X-Men card or the Marvel cards from, I can't remember the year, but I've got them over in a box somewhere over there.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah. I love those all graphic shirts.
That sounds about like the right year. Young 12-year-old Dustin going to the Piggly Wiggly and buying as many as he could.
Oh man,
is that what got you into comics?
No, what got me into comics was really Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The comics, not the original hardcore ones, but the ones that were more commercialized for kids in the cartoons. So that's really what got me into comics.
That's so cool. That was on my original poll list. That series, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures.
Yep. And I have them in like a suitcase from the 40s in there that got water damage to it. So they're still wet. They're wet and probably molding in my closet, but I can't bring myself to throw them away. There's just too much nostalgia involved with them.
I don't know if the cards got me into comics, but man, it really got me like excited for them. Okay, so on the left, I guess, yeah, we'd call it. This is the weekend before Planet. We had a big kickoff local wrestling event, and so left to right, we've got Circumstances, Bobby De La Ghetto, myself, and Brother Joe, who's actually Bobby's brother. And Bobby works this like gimmick where he wears the mask. He's like a real life superhero is his whole thing, and he wears it to wrestling. He wears it to the cons and to comic shops. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I was going to ask the story behind the mask. Yeah, the mask I thought was pretty cool.
He also had it at the con all weekend. He doesn't wear it like he'll take it off in restaurants and stuff, but put it on for pictures. And there will be a photo coming up where he covers his face like this.
Yeah.
Is that him in the middle there?
Yeah, that's him. That's him covering the face. That's at a place called Tomstown, and that's about a half mile from the stadium.
And I see you representing the Chiefs in your attire in this picture on the right there.
Yeah, I was never a big NFL fan until I moved here. Yeah, I agree, Shane.
Got to pick a good time. You picked a really good time to become an NFL fan. So.
Right. So I moved here, and like where I live, I'm 15 minutes from Arrowhead, and I have a friend from back home that's a season ticket holder. So that first year we moved here in 2019 was the year they won it all. But also we went to 5 regular season games, and because my buddy kept saying, "Oh, I can't make it this weekend. Can you take my tickets? Can you take my ticket?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. It's good seats.
Why not?
Lower bowl."
That's awesome. And you were
it
at
makes
the
a
Bills.
difference, when you can go to the game. Seeing it live is just so fun.
It is.
How many times have you seen?
It's so fun.
Oh, sorry. I've got, in case you're wondering, I've got a little bit of delay on my part, Becker, just for my internet connection. So if I'm asking a question when you're talking mid-sentence, it's because I thought there was a break, and I apologize for that. But how many times have you seen Josh Allen get beat by Patrick Mahomes?
In person, I've been at every AFC championship he's lost to.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I was even at the COVID game when the stadium was 22%. We were able to get tickets.
Oh, wow.
We were lower bowl near the top of actually we were in the last row, and it was so bizarre because I remember we got there maybe 10 minutes before the gates opened, and we drove our car right up to the door basically. And I was like, this is eerie. There was hardly anybody in the parking lot. 22% capacity. Nobody could sit near you, and they couldn't be in front of you. It was staggered every other row, and you couldn't and they staggered it through the rows so that you wouldn't if I threw something in front of me, I wouldn't hit anybody for several rows. It was bizarre. That was a weird time.
Yeah.
And my buddy who went with me, he ended up never going to another game again because he said, I can't go back. It was too nice. No lines for bathrooms. I could sprawl out in my seat. Nobody was touching me. He's like, I can't go back.
My sister-in-law and my mother-in-law did the same when they went to Disney during COVID when it opened back up, and it was the same thing, just empty. Nobody. You could just ride whatever you wanted, go wherever you wanted, and it hits different. So I understand that.
Okay, this is actually we go to the go back one.
Yeah.
Can we go back?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do left to right on that left photo. So I think you can only see my gut in this one, but we've got Pocan Joe, Bobby De La Ghetto. This is the front row. Circumstances behind him. We got Burke Family 54 Comics. We got Daymares. Behind Bobby is Southern Comic Geek. And then it's Mike V and Mike V's friends. So if you look at that, everybody involved in there has a YouTube channel. And on the right, that was on the right side where I'm wearing the Chiefs shirt. That's from Thursday night before Planet. Poke and Joe flew in, so we took him to his favorite restaurant, Q39. And that's Bobby, Joe, Circumstances, Keon, and the guy that's not in any of the other photos. That's my buddy Kyle. And on YouTube, he is KC Grits and Gravy.
Oh,
good
that's
name.
a great name. I do like the Circumstances name too. The guy that you keep on referring to as Circumstances. That is such a cool name. The fact that
well, he spells it with an S. So his name is Marcus, but he does an anagram for Sir Cam. SURCAM, Stances, STANCES. And he actually does a show on YouTube, like a live hangout that anybody can come show up on and talk about comics on Tuesday nights. And it's called FOC and Chill. And it's kind of a joke name because they never get to FOC.
Okay. That's great.
That's good.
Do you remember Jimmy Kimmel would always end an episode with, unfortunately, Matt Damon can't make it tonight? Yes. That's kind of the joke of FOC and Chill.
That's a good joke, and especially to keep it going. That's great.
Yeah, so this is from Saturday night. This is Joe's. The only new person in this one would be the guy next to me with his arm over me. That is Adrian Panda Awesome 316, maybe. But that's Panda. He has a YouTube as well. Most of the guys all got press passes for Planet too.
Really?
Yeah, Planet's pretty good about that. If you have a YouTube channel and you like agree to make content for the con, they'll hook you up. So Dustin, you could get a press pass, get in for free on that Skottie Talk name.
You said my favorite word, free. So we will definitely try that one year, Tyler.
It definitely helps. Yeah, we actually just re-upped our San Diego Comic-Con ones because we're in the industry, so that's always nice to be able to get those badges.
I feel like that scene from Guardians of the Galaxy where they go, "Who?" That's us. That's whenever we show up and
Skottie Talk. Yeah, who?
You pay double. You pay double for the prices.
I have to remember that. I'll have to make that a meme. That's good. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. I don't think we said hi to Shane. I wanted to say hi to Shane Lamb too, but Ryan said him and his wife almost went here last night. What was this restaurant again, Becker? I'm sorry. You may have said it.
This is Joe's Kansas City. This was not the so Joe's was originally named Oklahoma Joe's. Don't quite know why. But the gas station one's the original one, and that's very touristy. If you go there, line's going to wrap around the building. Very good. But and Anthony Bourdain had it on his list of 10 places to eat.
That'll do it.
9 places to eat before you die. But this is the Joe's in Leawood. So we drove a little out of downtown for this one because I was like, I just want to go somewhere where we can like get in and not fight for parking. I was wrong there. There was a big line up to the door to get food, but we got in pretty quick.
Now, whenever Planet Comicon comes to Kansas City, is the crowd like downtown? Is it hard to navigate around there or pretty easy to get through?
It is. I recommend working reservations just a week or two before. Get the restaurants you want. So Thursday night we ate at Q39. Friday night we were at Tom's Town, which has wonderful drinks. A lot of history too. Just a very cool vibe there. It's named after Tom Pendergrast, who was the corrupt political boss of Kansas City in the 20s and the 30s and ran all the bootlegging. So like it's kind of got speakeasy vibes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I know whenever we brought up the picture of Skottie and CB and Jason, you were able to recognize that place they were eating at, like just by the.
Yeah, I was well aware of where that was. The Peanut Downtown.
Well, here, before we get into this, I'm going to make you go big, Becker, and let you showcase some of the stuff, some of the hauls that you got at Planet Comicon this weekend.
Well, we talked about Jim Food. I picked up his Volume 2 of the Ballpoint Slayer art book. I'll be careful what pages I open up to. Don't want to get you in trouble with
That's fair, yeah.
But that came with that original art on the back. That's a small sketch in the empty box there.
Oh, that's really cool. What a neat idea. That's honestly, I'm surprised I've not seen that more, like having an empty box that the artists themselves can sketch on. I like that. I wish I would see that more.
Yeah, every one you bought came with that. He had a bunch pre-done. So I looked through and picked one, and I love Jim Mahfood's energy, his style. I backed that Kickstarter, and he had that book there, which has a Skottie cover, Savage Street Vigilante. When I bought this, I got a sticker.
Oh,
I am
nice.
one of those YouTube sticker people, so I love collecting these. Oh, let's see what else we got. We already showed that.
Yes. Yeah, that looks so good.
I didn't get anything as cool as Dustin got from Doug Mankey, but I picked this up in Doug's cheap pile.
Oh, nice. I love that. The double character there.
Yeah, he said this was promo art for Whiz Kids.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
From way back. I haven't heard of that in years.
Yeah,
I also got another. So this is I tried a project. Years ago I made this grid on a Suicide Squad blank, and I've been slowly collecting things locally, sketches. I made it way too small. Lesson learned on that one. But I started this in 2022, and I remembered to dig it out and bring it with. And Kyle Strom did Batmite. I've let each artist pick any DC villain, and unfortunately, it went Batman heavy right away. So we have Mad Hatter, Joker, Penguin, Solomon Grundy, Mr. Freeze, Clayface, Sinestro, and Batmite.
I was gonna say, who did Mr. Freeze? I love the Mr. Freeze in the middle there.
Andy Parks.
Oh, and yeah. Cool. Very cool.
Yep. And Phil Hester did Solomon Grundy.
Yeah, that's great. The shadow.
Jeff Edwards did Clayface. Dexter Vines did Penguin. Bob Hall did Joker, and Brent Peoples did the Mad Hatter.
That's so good. I mean, that's always, I feel like, the tough thing with those sketch covers is how much do you fit on? You know, do you box it out? Do you let them do it, and then one artist does it too big, and all that kind of stuff? But I think that looks great, honestly.
Yeah, I actually I probably shouldn't show his book off, but screw it. Let's show Chris Bacon's jam piece off. He sent this to me to get Doug Mankey added to it. This is a jam he's working on for Green Lantern. Doug put his on the back, but there's the front.
Very cool.
And Doug Mankey with that Sinestro on the back.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that looks great. I hope Bacon's happy. Old crispy Bacon. Doesn't everybody, can we just assume everyone knows who he is?
I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah. And then I picked up some comics. You know, I don't think I paid more than $18 for the whole stack. I caught they're all in like woe minus condition. But we've got First High Evolutionary. I picked up for like a couple bucks.
Oh, that's awesome.
Literally, but it's very well loved.
Yeah.
I got an Iron Man 91. I'm just filling in some Iron Man gaps.
Love to see that, yeah.
This one, I don't collect war books, but this is First Losers. And I saw it, and it was like, it should not have been in the bin it was in. So I was like, well, I can't let this one go. It was actually in fairly decent shape.
Oh,
Iron
nice.
Man 62. I ran into a bunch of Iron Man books.
Love
Not
it.
a bunch, but a few. Dr. Spectrum.
Oh, that's so cool.
Again, this is a book I own, but Fantastic Four 179 should not have been in the bargain bins. This I bought because Ken Carson, my buddy who I help out on 4C, you might know me from there. He goes off about Jimmy Olsen's jacket and how long it must have taken artists to do. So when I saw this Jimmy Olsen book, I was like, even though it's like missing a little chunk,
Yeah.
like, I need to get this for Ken.
You couldn't help it. Yeah.
Thor 261. So no big keys here. I mean, let's be honest. Buying a big book at a con, you're probably, unless we're talking Heroes Con, you're probably going to pay through the teeth. So I usually stick to the bargain bins, just dive through those. And then I also ran into Riley Brown was at the Hero Initiative booth, so I bought a trade paperback from him.
Oh, nice.
Hardcover. This is a story he did with Fabian and Cheza, and of course he signed it with some proceeds going to Hero Initiative. I always try to give if I can.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then last thing, did 2 celebrity photos. As I said, it was my buddy's Swag's first time at a con, so I really wanted him to have an amazing time. So I picked up a photo pass, and we did a Vincent D'Onofrio photo, and that's
very
us trying
cool.
to look. That's us trying to look tough.
I
know it's not.
It's crazy how tall he is. He's so imposing.
Well, also I'm really short. I'm like I'm 5'6", 5'7", depending on the gas station.
Oh, I was telling you there. Oh, that's great.
And
that's
then,
worth it. Yeah.
Lloyd. So this is my buddy Pocan Joe, and if you check out his YouTube channel, Evil Lair Projects and Builds, he actually made me. I wonder if I have it in this room. I know I don't. He made me a ring. He does like all these mad scientist projects. He's a maker. He's a builder. He made a synthetic ruby out of the ashes of an ASM annual 22 first appearance of Speedball, or 23. I just kind of brain farted on that one, but whichever one it is, Speedball is my favorite character. He burned it. It is 22. Took the ashes, made a synthetic ruby, and inlaid it into a ring where he added like glow powder to make little bubbles across it.
That is
colorful
insane.
Bubbles.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I have a Speedball ring.
That is super cool.
Oh, that was cool.
It sounds like you like Speedball. I don't know you, but it sounds like you like Speedball.
I do.
A little bit. And sorry for having to go off there. Becker, whenever the screen goes big, my internet just goes crazy. So I was actually having to watch you on my phone on YouTube.
Oh, no.
Okay, yeah. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I need to upgrade my system.
And Dustin, this is my last day to enjoy this in my house because I'm taking
sorry,
the post office
back
tomorrow.
up.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece. Beautiful job by Doug.
If you guys don't know, this is not my piece. This is Dustin's, and I picked it up for 4C from Doug Mankey at Planet. My lord,
man, the detail, the zombies at the bottom that are like enjoying the rock concert just sold it. I mean, there's so much greatness in that piece.
And I'm telling you, in person, it's even better.
That's what I love about that art is like it looks so great on camera, but then when you see it in person, it's always just that much better.
So, I mean, Dustin, you like me, right? You can just leave that here. I'd keep it for you.
We
call it ours.
That's your giveaway for this episode, exactly.
Oh no, whenever Doug has did a few commission ops for 4C, And this last time we offered 11 by 17, I was like, he did such a great job on those characters. Whenever he did like the Rock from the metal series, I had to get a Batman. Just the guitar with the little face at the end of it.
Is that what made you decide to get that?
Yeah, because he did a series of covers, the 7 variant covers for that series, and the Batman one was really great. I think Ken owns the one that has like the Batman Who Laughs the one that has all of them together. So I own the one with the Robin King playing the fiddle, but I wanted to get a Batman to go beside it. So yeah, whenever you showed me that picture, I was like, oh man, that's awesome.
I was so busy that day too, but I was like, I promised Dustin I was going to take a picture of this, so I quick did it, and I was running at the time.
I meant take a picture before you shipped them back to Doug. I apologize. I should have back to Ken. I said Doug because I didn't mean for you to interrupt your show. I apologize for that, but I appreciate it.
Oh no, it was fine. It was just we did kind of wait till Sunday. I don't know if you watched Ken's show last night, but the Black Lantern sketch, that one I was waiting for. So we didn't get that until Sunday afternoon. And I dang near had to tackle it out of Doug's hands because
he just kept on to add to it.
It's clearly done, but he just keeps adding stuff to it. And I think that's in his nature, like I'm sure when he worked on yours, anybody standing next to him like JJ or Ken would have been like, it's done, Doug. Yeah. It's done, Doug. Looks great, Doug. Like, but he just keeps working on them. And as a art collector fan, don't you like hearing that?
Absolutely. The Nick Fury was great. That was another one that was very impressive that he did.
Yeah, I think that's actually near the top. Yeah, it's right next to me, Doug. Yeah, that's my favorite out of them. That's a cool one.
That's very cool.
But enough talk about Doug Mankey art on the Skottie show.
I'm sure Skottie would appreciate Mankey's art. He does such a good. I mean, he was the artist on his buddy Jason Aaron's book. Off-world Batman. So I'm sure Skottie's a fan of Mankey as well.
Has anybody, speaking of Jason Aaron, I did not get to see him at the show. I saw him, but I didn't get anything from him. But I picked this up at a local store signing.
Oh, cool.
I got nice. The preview to the NYCC preview of Bug Wars.
Oh, it's very cool. Speaking of the devil.
Oops.
Sorry, man. I didn't get to buy anything from your booth because I was working.
Yeah, we had about 15 members from our group that went and visited Skottie, and we picked the one member from the group that didn't get to go visit Skottie. But
shouldn't have done it. What a mistake! He's seen
Skottie. Yeah, no, Becker. We wouldn't want anybody else on here but you, man. You did such a great job promoting your friends. That's one of the cool things when you're on 4C. And anybody pops in, you're the first one to go, that's my buddy from this show and this show. And you're such a giving person when it comes to the community. This is the first time me and you have talked like anything other than texting. And it's just such a pleasure to sit here and listen to you tell some of your stories. Oh, don't wave by. Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
I didn't see the comment. Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah.
So I was waving at him. Yeah, I told a story about you earlier when I ran into you before the AFC Championship game. I did say hi while I forgot I did run into you at that point.
That counts.
I was at Kyle's table. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, about how Kansas City they don't know how to shovel, man. They fail. They're not good at winter here. Midwest supremacy.
That's right. Representing. Hey, and then just real quick, Skottie, I hope you're feeling better. It looks like he had a bad case of the con crud. If anybody's been following kind of his Instagram.
Yeah, the shots of the Dayquil, NyQuil. I like that. Yeah.
Did you get any of that this week?
I did not get con crud.
Well, thank goodness. That's Sounds like it's starting to tick back up a little bit this year. So glad to hear that you were able to escape it, especially with the crew that you run around with. You ran around with a pretty big crew this weekend. So glad you all.
I did. I got lucky. All I can say is maybe those drinks at the bar we went to, Tomstown, maybe that killed whatever was trying to live inside of me.
That's some stout stuff. Let's say.
Yeah, I will say it was hard to stick to my rule. I do have a rule. I don't do more than 2 drinks in a night, and those were going down, man. I really wanted to have another one, but no.
Well, real quick before we get to the other crew here, I just gotta verify this before Skottie takes off from here. Was this a real panel or not? I was so excited to see highlights from this. And Becker and Tyler both realized it was a joke. So maybe Skottie's already left, but I really hope there's footage of some of this panel somewhere, even if it was unofficial.
I maintain my odds say this panel happened, but it was only amongst the 3 of them.
Yeah.
Man,
I like to think if it got canceled, you could just say, hey, well, maybe next year, then we could actually have that panel. So
I was really hoping Skottie be like, no, we did this panel. Where were you at, Becker? Why didn't you show up for it? Just to make me feel better. But
I bring my cardboard box with me everywhere just in case I need to break dance battle somebody.
In case of emergency break.
Yep. I keep a box cutter on me at all times so I can cut a rug.
You joke, but Dustin actually does have one, so.
Do you carry a box cutter on you?
It doesn't carry, but he's got one there.
Yeah, it's my fidget. I told Tyler if he saw blood spray up, just keep going with the show. Just remove me from the stage. But
that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, just 3 really old pals. Yeah, those with Jim and Sean and Skottie. I really look forward to the album that is dropping. I'm sure it will sell like gangbusters.
Yeah. Once again with Jim, I was really digging this Ballpoint Slayer. That was cool. I thumbed through that a few times now already.
All right. Well, real quick, we're already. I hope Becker, if you have to take off at any time, we understand. Me and Tyler can ramble on for hours, and we have fun. But we don't want to take you if you have to go eat supper or anything. But stick around as long as you want.
I'm not in a rush. But if you need me out of here so you can wrap up the show with actual Skottie stuff instead of
no
a bunch of other
we would love
people's
for you to
stuff.
hang out with us. No,
yeah,
no,
I can hang out.
Okay.
Very good.
Thanks, Ryan. Where were you an hour ago whenever I was acting like an idiot? No, this is Speak of the Devil, Ryan Pratt. He was really excited. We have another chat group with Skottie people, and he was really excited to go to the show leading up to it. And I'm hoping to get Ryan on here one day too to talk a little bit about his experience. But yeah, of course, the picture, I'm not sure how many Ryans. Okay, he does have one with Skottie. I thought for a second that maybe he had just taken a picture with Megan and kind of bypassed Skottie, but he did take one with Skottie. So, and he had these really cool posters that were signed along with the comics. And if you may not be able to make it out, but there is a colored Baby Yoda sketch that Ryan owns that he got a picture of Skottie holding up. And I believe it was one of the Skottie Young YouTube giveaways. And Ryan may be able to correct me that if I'm wrong about that, but Ryan was one of the fortunate winners to win that. And it's a really awesome piece. And I was glad Ryan had a great time with that.
Now, is Ryan from the area? Does he live out here? Or?
I don't know, Ryan. He's in the comments here. We'll ask and give him a few seconds and see if he responds while we talk about this one. Now, are you familiar with Nikki and Matt Becker with Capture Collectibles?
I know of them. Yes.
Yes. Now I know they're big Skottie fans, and especially Nikki actually has I think it's a Gert tattoo, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, I think it's Gert. Yeah.
So they got to hang out, and she got to visit with Sean there as well.
I like the glasses he's wearing. Those like infinity loop ones are always fun.
I know Nikki is such a cool person. Such a cool person. Matt's not bad either. Matt Gilmore's not bad either, but Nikki's a lot cooler than he is. And then Josh Lancaster, who has a really great collection and I don't want to spoil this. He had sent me a picture of this book. I don't know if you all see the book he's holding there, but it's got Skottie's signature with the graffiti signature on it, and you can't really tell it. And he's sending it off to be graded, so I'll let him reveal it whenever it comes back. I don't want to steal his thunder for that, but that was a really cool book to get signed.
Not one that you see very often. I was very surprised the fact they're just holding it raw there. You know, that's one that I'd want bagged and boarded and secured. So
it's pretty rare. It's top, I would say top 5 rare for Skottie books. So Ryan did say, just so you see, he's from OKC. It's a 5-hour drive or so. So it's not too bad of a drive, but enough to.
I was gonna, if he was local, I was gonna tell him to reach out, and we would take him on some of the comic crawls and stuff.
Yeah, I keep on wanting to call you all.
More people. We're all about the community out here, man.
Very much so. Like. I want to say Kansas City Mafia was that, but I think that was from a season of Fargo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're not a mafia. I guess more of a crew, more of a bunch of nerds.
Oh no, it's a bunch of cool guys from what I can see. Michael Northcutt, who has commented a couple times on our videos, and he went and he got a bunch of books signed by Skottie, along with one of the unoriginal prints, which is really one of the coolest ones of Spawn. Zach Summers. Oh, this was I've seen this one once or twice before. Previously, but this was one of Skottie's first pieces of artwork that I guess was commercialized roughly 25 years ago for the band POD, Christian metal group. Fun fact,
I remember POD.
The lead singer named his daughter Nevaeh, which is like heaven spelled backwards, and popularized that name. You can tell I've been on their Wikipedia page today reading about this group here. So. And then he got his picture made with Skottie and his buddies, and then Megan as well. But he got that shirt signed by Skottie, and I can't wait to see that frame. I know Zach usually pops in the show, but hopefully we can get him on one day as well.
Everyone did a much better job of this than I did.
Oh, no. Hey, we got you on for the stories, Becker, and you did not disappoint. You have
exactly the con as a whole. So.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have you on, and thank you very much for coming on. So, Jordan Schoenberg got his picture made with Skottie. And last but not least, this is the one that I think pushed the slideshow over quite a few legal size for me to put it on here. But that's why it's a PDF instead of a PowerPoint. But Maureen killed the show. Becker, she embarrassed me, Tyler, you, all of she is like ultimate Skottie fan here. So I feel like she is going
together.
She is. I will announce it here first. Maureen is going to be on our show next week to tell about her experience seeing Skottie 7 years ago, and then seeing him this weekend, and just kind of get into that a little bit. So, but Maureen, we'll just let the pictures do the talking. She brought a haul of books. And some of these books were pretty rare books to bring and get signed by Skottie. So she did a really good job. She got the Gert statue signed. Now, Tyler, do you have the Gert statue signed?
I do, yep. And I think he signed it pretty much in the same spot, if I'm not mistaken, on the mushroom there. So.
And this is her and her husband. When she said her husband bought her 2 pieces of original art, I was like, he really needs to talk to my spouse. I don't think my spouse tries to get rid of my art. And
I was going to say, that is the opposite of what my wife is doing.
Yeah.
A very
not one, concept. Let alone 2 pieces would be gifted.
And
Although I take
really...
that back, my wife actually did get me a Skottie print of Andy Reid, the Andy Reid print.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Frozen. Yeah. Coach. That's a really, and I don't know if you watched the Skotties or not, Becker, but the Andy Reid one won Daily Sketch of the Year. So that was my favorite sketch that he had done. And with some of the proceeds going to Special Olympics too, which is near and dear to my heart. I have 3 of my daughters are in Special Olympics. I was really proud to hear that they were helping local.
Yeah, actually, the funny story. I think we ran into Skottie at brunch around the time of that print. I think he had just drawn the image, and I had seen it on Instagram, and I told him I saw that Andy Reid you did. That's really cool. And then like the next day it was a print, and I showed my wife. I was like, "Hey, remember that drawing we were talking to that guy about? Here it is." And she goes, "Well, how do I get that?" And she bought it.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's very sweet of her. Yeah, I've got one hung up over there of it as well. And I remember buying whenever, I think that was the image, whenever I was lucky enough to interview Skottie and Megan last year for the Skottie Young Appreciation Group. That was one of our giveaways. I bought two just to help kind of support the foundation, but that was one of the images that was given away to, I believe, Stephen Rochester, if I'm not mistaken. But I love that piece. That is such a great piece. The original art's for sale right now on eBay. But I think unfortunately, I think it's about $2,000. So it's but it is a cool one to own. It would be a cool one to own.
Which one, the Kelsey or the Andy
Reid? Andy Reid. Andy Reid is for sale on there.
Yeah, a local guy bought that and has been trying to sell it in the Kansas City comic group. I didn't know if he found a buyer yet, so he's still.
The last I looked. Yeah, he had posted. I think he had posted in the group, one of the sales group, and then I saw it up on eBay. So I believe it's still available. If I'm not, I hadn't checked the last week or two, but.
Oh yeah, that's true. I love that one. Andy looking all like a frozen like walrus.
I was gonna say walrus.
Almost. Yeah.
All right. Now Becker, we got to figure out a way to get you in this thing next year. I'll have to add an extra couple of teams. So. I apologize.
I'm a Cinderella story all day long. Doesn't even get any art at the or signatures or anything.
Well, you can be an outside representative of what. But you mentioned crispy bacon a few seconds ago, and I couldn't talk because had no signal. But I was thinking he's going to come up later in the show, but not for a positive reason. This is he got beat down pretty bad by Tyler here in the
yeah.
Yeah, which Tyler is a big Twilight fan from one of our early episodes.
Yeah, I'm a massive. Got to pick with the crew at MegaCon. So my wife and sister-in-law are huge fans. So I tagged along for fun.
Tyler's a good sport. He's a good sport about it. But I thought it'd be funny to put his book up against the Twilight books. So
it was a good one. I think Chris or somebody posted. I mean, it's a great joke. I do appreciate it. I love that Spider Punk. So
yeah, like you said, the whole Blade and Captain America, that it was a great one of the gag covers that Skottie does for the baby variants. Really good. I hated that Bacon lost. I thought it was going to be closer than that. So. I feel bad for Bacon, but he's a good sport as always about these things.
54-15. You beat the brakes off my boy.
Yeah, it was
definitely one of the heavier ones than some of the other ones that have been a little bit closer. So
he's made some comments about Canada beating the U.S. and different things. So this is kind of us U.S. taking it back right here. So. All right, then this was a really close matchup between Daniel Fonte, who won last year with the Avengers versus X-Men wraparound cover for Midtown. And this year he picked Mind the Gap, issue number 3. And he beat Nikki, which is a book from 2024, Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. But it was an arrow. It was 42-35. And as Tyler and I discussed it, it was like neck and neck right up to.
Yeah, it's tough. It's the freshness of the creature, but also again, it's one of my favorite of the Universal monsters. But that Mind the Gap cover is just gorgeous. I mean, there's just so much going on. It's just so interesting.
I forgot to mention earlier on the second or the first matchup from round 2 ended at 7:00, which was like an hour ago my time. And I've got the note written on a Lowe's receipt of who won because Tyler, we wanted to do it live. And we'll do it here in just for the second. This was another beatdown. Ray Rivera, who was on a few seconds ago.
Yeah.
Craig McDaniels, 69-17. But
Even
I do
worse,
love
yeah,
the
than
Michonne
mine.
cover. Yeah, the Michonne cover is from I Hate Fairyland 10 is so good, but it's hard to beat the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I that was my favorite to win this year when you guys did the preview show. I don't know how that didn't get picked first.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's generally what's been brought up. Even Skottie, was mentioning how long it took for this one to finally get picked to be in. So
Yeah, because I think Ray had to play a play-in game because he was one of the last 8 people to pick, and it's still so the first 12 people didn't pick it, and I can't remember which one Ray picked it in, but yeah, there was several off the board whenever it came up. So I was shocked it lasted that long because I mean, once again, the Scotties, it was the cover of the year in our humble opinion, but for 2024, so it has legs. It could go all the way. All right, this is the way the Elite Eight stand, and the first matchup ended at 7 o'clock. I apologize for Ryan being on here and having to see this, but he lost 55-21 to our boy John from Stupid Fresh. So John advances, the first contestant for the Final Four. Well done, John. And the one that should have went live at 7 o'clock p.m., but I was on here talking with Becker and Tyler, so it will go live in about 45 minutes, will be the Transformers versus the Edge of Spider-Verse #1 from 2024. Gerard versus Dre, so good luck for both of them. And then we've got Tyler will be playing Megan with Iron Man versus Iron Punk. And last but not least, Daniel will be up against Ray for Mind the Gap 3 versus TMNT #1. So great 8 covers left, or I guess I should say 7 left. May the best cover win.
Wow.
Yeah, going to be some tough matchups there. So I'll be curious to see the numbers.
All right. Any new Skottie items in your collection this week?
I'm waiting myself. I'll get my pickups. I did get the ratio variant for this week's final Death of Spider-Man cover, though, thankfully. So I was only going to get Itsy Bitsy Spider, but I couldn't help myself with having a Skottie caricature on there. So
no, I don't blame you. And I have nothing this week, so we can.
The book I took to get signed that I did not obviously get signed was one of those covers. It was the Quicksand.
Oh, nice. That's a good one to get. That blue. Where would you get it signed at? Where was you hoping to? What's your optimal spot for that?
Ooh, probably either in the Quicksand or the Blue, obviously, because there's not much choice outside of those two.
Yeah, there's a good.
But I would
canvas
think maybe the Blue, because he's already got his signature on the Quicksand. I liked this cover though because I was obsessed with Quicksand, as most 80s kids were. You know, we had been taught that it would be such a threat to us through television.
Exactly.
I've never seen it in my life.
There's a spot reserved in my brain for how to survive quicksand that I looked up as a kid, like to lay sideways, don't struggle, wiggle your way out. That could have probably been populated by, maybe me entering the medical field or something, but instead it is all reserved for, like you said, stuff that we'll probably never have to use, hopefully.
See, then that might be my thing I should be up against then is quicksand, because I don't struggle. I don't ever try to fight against adversity. I've always told my friends, if there's ever any sort of zombie apocalypse or end of days kind of scenario, I'm giving up right away. Like, I am not going to try to tough it out.
Yeah.
Just take me, zombies.
That's a surefire tactic. Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest irrational fear. I like that kind.
And Ryan had picked up a Spider-Verse poster. Oh, very nice. Those are awesome. All right, new books this week. Yeah, I've got both of these in my pull list, but I haven't got them yet. These were really, really great week, and we're starting to get to that point where we're going to hit a break in like Skottie's books coming out every week or so. But we're going out on some high notes here. These are really cool books to come out on the same day.
Yeah, the Godzilla Fantastic Four one is contender for one of the best covers this year for me personally so far. So
nice. And we did our full episode over the Amazing Spider-Man 70, so we know how much we both enjoyed that cover. So
yeah,
and
no, it's a great one.
now, have you all did much research into what this Imperial book is over? I just read.
I hadn't. No, I peeked it when I looked at the slides, but yeah, I had. This is news to me, so.
I ordered it based on cover alone.
Which is the way to do it. I'm right there with you. I agree 100%.
I'm a big Nova guy. Obviously, I'm a big New Warriors collector. Speedball, Nova, those are my guys.
Very cool. I didn't pick up the cover A, but I did pick up a couple of Skottie's covers. The price on them is a little cost prohibitive to get too crazy with them. This must be a pretty big book.
Bigger book, yeah.
That's a 4-issue mini run, it looks like. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more next week, so I didn't get into it too much. But, of course, the question that I asked Skottie, I mentioned this last week before last on that Ask Me Anything, was what was going to be the numbering for the new Derek Loffman version of I Hate Fairyland. And he wouldn't tell me he said wait and see or something along those lines. So now we know that there's going to be legacy numbering. And we had 1 through 20, 1 through 20, and then the 41st book will be labeled justly so as the 41st. And we'll discuss that a little bit more next week. But Becker, since you won't be with us on here live, what's your thoughts on legacy numbering? Or do you have?
I actually don't mind it. If you're going to restart volumes, I actually find it helpful. I know some people are against it, but I find it helpful because then it allows me to just stack my volumes. I'm a run collector, so it actually helps me keep volumes straight.
Mm.
Well,
you're talking about like doing the 1 through 20, breaking it up, or you're talking about going back to like the actual numbering?
Going back through, well, I mean, so for example, the Moon Knight series, they're on like 8 volumes, but when they use legacy numbering, then I don't have to try to tell the difference between, all right, I'm reorganizing this box. I have these books here.
Yeah.
I have these books here. They're like a year apart. Which one goes in front of the other one? Well, legacy numbering helps with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Amazing Spider-Man. They keep relaunching Amazing Spider-Man, but like you said, the legacy number may say 874 or 875 on there, but it'll also have issue 56 or something along those lines. So, I have no problem, and especially whenever you get a book like this, that's Skottie's. This is his baby. This is the first thing
the longest running one, yeah.
Writing, so I don't blame him one bit for skipping back to 41, because hitting 50, especially in an independent book, is a huge deal in my opinion. So
yeah, for sure,
be very proud of it, and we'll discuss. We won't get into it too much, but I just want to get your thoughts on it, and I knew you'd have good thoughts, and you did not.
I like it better than putting numbers randomly in a title that don't make sense, like Hatoosh.
Oh, and Calvin, we'll touch on that a little bit next week.
I was going to say the only one I allow with this one is an 8, and I Hate Fairyland if it was a number 8, but that's about it.
Oh, nothing new this week. Did you get a bracket in? I don't think Tyler had time to get a bracket in either. It ran out. Becker, did you get your bracket in for the?
I did not do. I'm in the Becker family bracket pool, of which I think I might three-peat this year. I've won it the last 2 years. And
who do you have? Who's your championship for Final
I have
Four?
Duke winning it all. I'm currently in the 91.1% of all brackets, but I think a lot of people are, just because, I mean, it's been
very
fairly chalky. Yeah.
I mean, there with no mid-major teams and only the four conferences left out there in the tournament. To me, there's not been a lot of talk about the bracket at our work, just because there's no upsets or there's no Cinderellas left in it. But if you're, I guess, a college basketball purist, which I'm not really, this is probably going to be the best matchups left that of any Sweet 16 that we've had. So should be a good tournament to finish up. Oh, this is okay. Now we've only got 7 people left out there, so your odds are pretty good to win. Giveaway on the next slide. The first to answer the question in the comments wins. Tyler, you ready?
Drum roll, yeah. There we
What
go.
is POD an acronym for?
I just looked it up earlier.
I did too, and I forgot. I can't remember. That's why I was on the Wikipedia.
I looked it up when you showed that shirt. I was like, oh, I remember POD, but what does POD stand for?
We got an answer. Is that it, Dustin?
That is correct. Calvin, you are the winner. I think it's correct. Let me verify. Yes, that is correct. Calvin is the winner. Had to verify that. Calvin, I don't know if you're a member of Skottie Young Appreciation Group, but if you are, and Daniel was right behind him. He was like, it showed up right on the screen right.
Oh yeah,
him.
a few seconds later, yeah.
Yeah, so Calvin, let me know if you're a member of the Skottie Young Appreciation Group. If you are, send me a message with your address.
That's a pretty awesome prize too, man. That's a big 9.8.
Yeah, it's a great cover, yeah.
Lots of first appearances. All right, cool, Calvin. Shoot me a message, Dustin Whitney, on there. If you don't know who my last name, shoot me on there, and I'll make sure and get you the book out to you by the end of the week.
Kelvin, do me a favor. Also, please complain to them that it's not CGC.
Almost shot T out.
Tell us how you really feel, Calvin, and then we'll determine whether or not you get it.
I just love when you were like, well, it's CBCS. I was like, it's free.
I know. I'm like the first time I heard that, I was like, oh, there's drama. I was like, news to me, you know.
That's exactly.
Comic, whatever plastic it's encased in, you know, doesn't make that big of a difference. But
oh man, okay, he's behind on the video. He's like, payable on death. What in the world? So that. All right, thank you. And Becker, I don't know if you're coming to Heroes or not. I'd heard you talk about it on the 4C show. Well, thank you, Calvin. Well, but I hope to be able to meet you in person there if you do come.
I would have. It now sounds 4C's talking Terrificon for me. So
well, that's another great show. That's if you gotta miss Heroes, Terrificon's a great one to substitute.
I'm a little worried about Terrificon just because it's in a casino.
Oh,
got a real taste for that pie gal.
As Megan had responded to somebody last week, it's like being on a cruise. She said it's eating, gambling, and con. So as long as you can you'll probably lose more money on the con than you will the gambling, I'd say.
Yeah, I've never been to it. I'm just talking about Kelvin's comments there. I've never been to that one.
Oh, well, cool. Well, if you do happen to get to Heroes sometime over the next few years, that's usually the only one I usually head to. I do hope to meet you in person one day, and thank you very much for coming on.
Or you can come to Kansas City and we'll take you out.
I will with the Kansas City non-mafia. I'll be glad to come and hang out with you all and drag me wherever.
It's always been my personal stance that I don't believe the mafia exists, and if anybody in there is watching, that's exactly what I said. I don't think there is such a thing.
I'm pretty sure I live about 15 minutes from the Amish mafia, so I can't say much about that. But they'll never watch it.
Exist, is what you say.
They'll never see it. They'll never see the show if it does. So I can't say anything about it. So I think I'm safe.
That's just how they lure you in, Dustin.
All right, sweet siren. All right. Well, thank you very much, Becker. We appreciate you staying on. Thank you for everyone that joined us for the show.
Yes.
Any last words, Becker, before we let Tyler do his thing?
Support C3 this year, please, if you can.
Please do. Yes.
A travel fireplace.
Oh, that's good.
Tyler.
Oh, that's my signal. I was waiting for it. I was like covered. I was like, I don't know if there's a delay or what's happening here.
No. Sorry.
No, as Dustin said, yeah, appreciate everyone coming out as usual and hanging with us. Skottie popping in. It's always fun. Definitely look forward to next week talking about more original art, talking about legacy numbers. But until then, stay fresh, live messy, and we'll catch you guys next week.